Hello Flosstube, this is Stitching Jennie. I am Jennie. Today is November 20th, 2023, and this is Flosstube number 12, if I am remembering right. So it's been about 3.5 weeks since I last posted. I have a few things to show you. I have a couple of previous finishes that I want to share. So the first one, these are things for my fall Thanksgiving decorations. This one is Grateful, Thankful, Blessed by Lizzie Kate. And it's finished as like an easel type finish. I have the fabric is 32 count cream linen, and then I stuck with either called for floss colors or something similar. I pulled the DMC and looked for a floss color that was similar to that of the variegated flosses that I have, just to use what I had. So it's very much in the same tones as what was called for if it wasn't called for. It's just some of that twine, a little bit of ribbon. Really like this one. And I like that I can just kind of put it wherever. It's great. The other one that I have, it's really cute. This one is called Mr. Gobbles the Turkey. So that's Mr. Gobbles. And this is by Fuzzy Fox Designs on Etsy. The fabric is 32 count sandstone linen. And I really liked how this one turned out. It's just kind of a simple, one of those same, I guess it's flat fold is the technical term, finish. This one, I put a little bit longer of a ribbon. I don't usually put them as long anymore. This was one of my first finishes, and anyway, it maybe kind of shows, but as far as a flat fold goes, but he was really fun to stitch. I would definitely recommend. Fuzzy Fox has a lot of really cute animal patterns that are pretty easy. There is some back stitch, and because of the chart being a color or a black and white chart instead of a color chart, it was hard sometimes to see or to understand where she wanted the different colors for the back stitching. So mine might be a little different than what was called for. I did the best. I was a little confused on these stitches kind of in here, but I did what I could. I think it turned out really cute. And he sits in, I bought a new, it's kind of almost like a trough that says grateful on it, and I have some styrofoam blocks in there to kind of raise up what's in there, and it's a great place to put like pillows and these, and then I have like fall leaves and things around that. So I think it's really cute this year. I'm really enjoying that. I had a new start. So my sister and we've had this planned forever, and we've just never actually started it. It's Touching Autumn Sky by Mirabilia. It's been something that I've wanted to stitch since I started stitching. My sister was able to get a copy of it, and so I made a working copy, obviously because it's out of print. But it took a while to decide fabric, and then because I've never stitched a Mirabilia, I was a little intimidated to start. My sister was finally like, no, we are starting. What's a good day for you? Let's start it. So we got together and we started our Touching Autumn Sky. Let me put a board behind this. So I just have kind of a tiny start. This was probably a few hours stitching. I discovered that my copy was a little blurry, so I need to make a new copy of it. But I got partway through, realized that I missed one of the color changes, and so had to rip, like, I was probably to about here, and then had to rip half of that out and then start again. So anyway, I'm really excited about it. It's actually started, so now I'll be a little more eager, I think, to work on it. This fabric is a 32 count Lugana in the color Angel Dust by Pulse Stitches. That's a British company, and so we both have this exact same fabric. I mean, obviously it looks a little different because it's hand dyed, but my goal of it was to look like it was a setting, like a sunset while she's swinging. I will post a picture of what that actually looks like here. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, but it's a little girl, fall leaves, swinging, and I wanted it to look like an autumn sunset. And we ordered these back in 2020, if I remember right. So it was like in the middle of COVID. It was probably summer of that year. And so it took extra long to get, but it's beautiful. Love how it turned out. Such good quality. So definitely check them out if you're looking for something, or if you're in, Europe. So let's see. I do have a finish. I was able to finish Christmas Cardinal. This one's by Stony Creek. Make sure. Yes, Stony Creek. I get the creeks mixed up. There's a few creeks and I always get them mixed up. So this is what that one looks like. So it gets stitched like this, but then you actually turn it on the points like this. So it's all finished. I do need to, my sister said she has some black beads that I can use for the eye. It's only one bead, so I didn't want to buy a bunch, and she said she had some. So next time I visit her, I need to grab a bead. And then I have the like 3 crystal snowflake charms to attach. There's one like here, and then one actually over this snowflake, I think. So anyway, I started this to commemorate the first cardinal that I've ever seen. So in Utah, we don't have cardinals, but I love cardinals. I think they're so pretty. And while we were in Hawaii this summer, I actually got to see my first cardinal. So kind of strange that I had to go to Hawaii for it. I would have thought more like back east, but anyway, kind of funny. I didn't know they had cardinals in Hawaii. So this is to commemorate that. I was really excited about that. So anyway, there's some, I don't know if you can see it. There's a little bit of like an iridescent blending filament in the light blue color. Maybe the light will catch it a little bit. So it has a little bit, just a very light sparkle to it. And then obviously the gold is very sparkly. So anyway, very happy with that. That's stitched on 28 count navy Lugana. Then I have some fully finishes. So first, this one is one that I have. I finished this on Halloween. This is called Vulture Villa, and it's by Lindy Stitches. So this is the pattern with the, and then you can kind of see the little flower arrangement. And I love my little like skeleton hand. And I know the reds aren't really the same, but I feel like it was okay. This is on like a little kind of just a little flower box that I found in the wedding section of the craft store. And I have some just, I don't know what kind, it almost looks like twill tape for the ruffle. And it's just magnet with some washers. I laced it and sewed on the ruffle. It just sticks on there, and then I can take out the flowers. I've got the styrofoam block, and it just slides in and out like that. And I have two others that are fully finished that I switch out. They're all the habitats from Lindy Stitches, and then I have the winter one that I need to fully finish, but I have everything for it, and it's done stitching. It's been stitched. So this is 28 count Twilight fabric by Picture This Plus, and this fabric, it photographs kind of funny. It's either like a really bright blue or like a really dark blue. And this actually looks like it's showing up pretty true to color. So really love how that one turned out. I wanted it to look like the night because you can see like the moon. So that's my first one. I finished it while I was waiting for all the trick-or-treaters. We didn't get very many. I live on a cul-de-sac and we don't get many trick-or-treaters. The next finish that I have is Winter Owl. This is by MP Studia. And then here's his back. And then he's just standing on, this is an MP Studia stand. This is the snowflake. I painted it white and then put like an iridescent paint over it, so it might kind of shimmer. It's not super noticeable, but I love that he just slides on there. He's got his little snowflake and he's ready for winter. The front was really fun to stitch. The back was not. I have never had so many times that I've had to rip out a piece. I constantly, in the scarf area, was constantly ripping out, restitching it, ripping it out, restitching it, and then up in the fur feathers, not fur, feathers. Birds have feathers, guys, in case you didn't know. Anyway, I kept having to rip this out too, and I think what my problem is that I really struggle when there's multiples that are like stacked in kind of layers, like offset from each other just barely. I get lost, and so I really had to be very careful about coming and like marking off everyone as I did it, and that actually really helped. So once I finished the back, I think I finished the front in like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, like super fast. The back took me like probably 2.5 years. Like it was bad. It was bad. But it's on plastic canvas, and then you just kind of lace the edges together after you cut it out. And it shows you in the instructions like where to cut so that they match. Really cute. Love him. I think he's kind of my favorite. I think he's super, super cute. Then I have also by MP Studia. This is Gingerbread House. That's the front. And then this is the back. And to be honest, I think I kind of like the back. Maybe is my favorite. Again, on a laser engraved wood stand that this is what it looks like when it comes. And then I painted it white, trying to keep it out of off the edges and out of the middle, and then put that iridescent paint on top of it. But this goes on top like that. It just slides on. Again, on plastic canvas, laced on the edges. This was like an anniversary-ish gift that is why I started it. And I actually had it finished. One of the halves finished. My husband and I met, well, not met. One of our first activities we did together was build gingerbread houses. We met kind of the weekend of Thanksgiving, maybe like kind of the next week of Thanksgiving. And we went and saw Christmas lights in Salt Lake. And then the next weekend, I was trying to get some friends together to build gingerbread houses, and invited him to come. And it basically was us, just the two of us most of the time. All of my friends bailed out. I was super embarrassed, felt very self-conscious about it. But I stitched this to kind of commemorate that kind of activity that we did together. So my plan is to actually have a gingerbread tree, and I'm slowly collecting patterns and a few ornaments. So I want to go to Michael's. They have a like a candy garland that I want to get for it, and eventually I'll buy a tree and have all the things stitched, but that's my plan. So those are my fully finishes. I have a couple of whips. I have a Raven, which I'll put a picture in here. And this is by Nora Corbett. And I'm kind of putting it away for a little while because it's one of the witches. Let me get my board. Okay. So this is Raven. Trying to see if I have it in frame. Yeah, that's probably pretty good. So this fabric is 32 count Witch's Moon Sky by Fabric Flare. And I measured her because I knew I wanted her to be kind of in the middle of the moon with the bats like going through the moon and just kind of below it. Like I didn't want them to come up. So I measured and measured, and this is another one that took me forever to start because I was kind of intimidated by the measuring, and I knew I wanted it to look a certain way. And anyway, I'm really happy with the way that it's looking. I think it looks really cool, and it brings me joy. So this is Raven. And she was a lot easier to stitch than I had expected. Again, you know, a little bit intimidated because this one's a Nora Corbett, so I knew it'd be a little bit easier than a Mira. But the colors really do just kind of flow into each other on this one. I know some don't, but a lot do. So that one was really, really easy to work on. Let's see, the next is Castle Homecoming by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is a stitch along. They just came out with a new section, so I'm like 2 essentially behind. So this is what mine looks like. And I have some color changes because it's for my daughter, for her room, and so she picked out like we changed the wizard's robe color. I added some sparkle to the magic. I added sparkle to the mane and tail of the unicorn. I changed all the spots and the wing color on the dragon. And then for the princess, we literally took my daughter's hair and went like this over the floss card, the DMC floss card, to find the perfect match. It actually worked really, really well. And then I do have some sparkle in the flames and her crown and her jewelry. I finished this castle turret most recently. I just started the jousting scene. They just came out with over here, there's a big tree with a troll, ogre, troll, probably troll fishing. So I need to do those. So those are the only 2 parts that I haven't done. I might come over and do the tree first so I feel like I'm more caught up. The mental games we play sometimes. So this needle minder is part of the Frosted Pumpkin needle minders that actually came with it, but were designed to go with the stitch along. So anyway, and this one I made just from a button pack that I got probably from Walmart. So that is where I'm at for that one. It's been a fun stitch, and the bricks have been better than I expected. The turret was a little harder with all the dragon and stuff kind of in the way, but it actually went really well. Then I have, and that's on 40 count. 40 count. It's a even weave called for doll that I dyed myself to look like Sky. I do have a tutorial of one of my skies that I made that you can kind of get an idea of how to do it. I think this one I added more evening blue probably to it. So like a little bit darker color than the little less aqua essentially. So you can check out that tutorial if you're interested. And the one I've been working on probably the most, this is my working copy, but you kind of get the idea. This is Pair of Pilgrims by Lizzie Kate. And I am done with, his name is Miles, per the chart. That's not my name that I made. And her name is Priscilla. And I'm working on Priscilla. Right. This is where I'm at. Last time you saw it, one arm was filled in, and actually this arm was filled in, and then most of this one. But I finished filling those in. I finished all of her apron, and I kid you not, I was down to like the barest, most barely able to make a stitch with my floss on this color. Like I literally had to rethread it with the threader every time like I put my needle in. I'd have to like rethread it because it wasn't long enough to actually do the stitch. And then I'm starting on the collar and the cuffs. So that's where I'm at. This is what Miles looks like. Maybe. He's not wanting to come apart. This is Mr. Miles. So I wanted them together. so they'll go together in one piece. So I did change, I talked about it previously, but this is Classic Colorworks Blackbird. Change that. It's actually called for is this mid-tone brown in his pants is what it actually calls for those sections, but on the cover photo you can see it's a lot darker brown, and so I liked more that brown black look, so I switched it with the help of my niece. She came and helped me color pick. She's great at that. She actually thinks it's super fun. So anytime I have a major floss color conversion, I always like pull her and we go and figure it out together. So that's all my whips. My only other thing is purchases. I did last night have a couple of PDFs that I bought, Primrose Cottage Designs. They were doing a sale on their PDFs, kind of a pre-Black Friday type sale. And I bought Christmas Barn, which is here. And then Snowman Kisses, which is here. And kind of those wintry pieces. I'm thinking about trying to turn Christmas Barn more into a winter, like change the scarf color and the bow color on the wreath to see if maybe I can make it feel a little more winter, leave off the holly at the top to make it feel more winter so it can be out longer. I have a lot of Christmas so that are specific to Christmas, so it'd be nice to have a little more winter. Something that I've been thinking about today, there was a lady who is in a group that I am part of, a cross stitch group, and she had mentioned that she was just heartbroken because one of her stitching best friends passed away unexpectedly, and how things that they had always talked about, like, oh, you'll get this back, I know you bought this for me, you'll get it back. Some of those things she wasn't able to actually get back, and she saw that the family had just posted it on a Facebook marketplace, like super cheap, discounted, just to try to get rid of it all, and talked about how sad it was that it wasn't going to people who loved her and knew what her passion was, and it just made me think that we never know what's going to happen, and maybe we should talk to our families a little bit about what we would like done with our collection. A lot of us have put a lot of time and effort and money into this hobby, and what you would like to have done with the pieces or the charts or what have you, but to mention to your family so that they know what to do with it if that time should come unexpectedly. Another thing that I wanted to briefly mention is my frame. This is kind of an unusual frame, not a brand that most people have seen. This is an Omanic factory frame. I love it because it has a rod that goes in to hold the fabric. It's not glued, it's not stitched, it's just you slide in the little rod and it holds it in nice and tight. There's these edge pieces that you can scroll down or scroll up to tighten. The new sidebars are extra nice because what it is, I guess it helps if I have it down a little bit. So you can see there's a slot here, and this plastic piece slides in into that slot. But the new pieces, what it is on the top, it has like a little, almost like frame that this slides into. So the nice part about that is that this one you have to have a full turn essentially to be able to slide it in, and there's times that you come close, but you're not always at that full half turn, where this one you don't have to do that, and so you just kind of set it on. I'm actually thinking about getting that one, but keeps it really nice and tight. I like that it's even all across, like most people talk about their scroll bars. I haven't had to worry about, you know, damaging my fabric, flare fabric, or other fabrics or stitches. It just rolls up super nicely when it's not being used, like like this one. You just kind of roll them up together. You can see the slots, and they're just really, really nice. Lindy Stitches website, so Stephanie's website, Lindy Stitches, they have the new Omatic that they sell in the United States. She's the vendor for the United States now. So if you're interested, you can always check it out. But that's what this one is, in case anybody has questions about it, because it's really, really nice. Again, love that it's just a bar that slides in so that I'm not having to sew or glue or something to my fabric. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. I will hopefully get back to you before Christmas is the goal. I will be starting for my plans. I really am hoping to finish a good chunk of my Pilgrim Priscilla before Thursday is the United States Thanksgiving. I would like to start catching up on my Castle Homecoming, and I have a couple of presents that I want to work on. Some stitching ones, like, not that they know about them, so if I don't get to them all, then that's okay. But I do have a couple of ornaments that I want to work on, a couple of new starts. I do have some already started Christmas pieces that I want to work on. So basically full-fledged Christmas. I need to kind of think about, you know, how I want to do it next year. I feel like I'm always super short on time for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I might try, you know, involving more, some kind of rotation or something. I say that a lot, and it hasn't been super successful because I really enjoy stitching in the season, but I also need to figure out how to catch up because it is so busy in these holiday times that I don't always get to these later holidays that I love and have so much for. I have so much fall, so much Christmas. Those are my two biggest ones. So anyway, I can't wait to come back, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks. Bye.